Hey YouTube, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment down below. I'll very much appreciate it. And why are we here? We're here because I see this lonely senator over here talking about how never legalize interracial marriage. Now, before we start and get into this, I kind of want to talk about Mike Braun, who Mike Braun is. Like, Mike Braun is an American businessman, political politician serving as a junior United States Senator from Indiana. Now, if you don't know, I am from Indiana. I'm streaming currently from Indiana. It sucks. I was born and raised here. I don't like it here. I want to move someday. So, yeah. I did not vote for this motherfucker. Previously, he represented the 63rd District, Indiana House of Representatives from 2014 to 2017. A member of the Republican Party, Braun was elected to the United States Senate in 2018 after defeating Democratic incumbent John Donnelly. Now, here we go. Braun opposes the Affordable Care Act, same-sex marriage, abortion, and the pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. He describes himself as a conservative nationalist who has called on the Republican Party to take climate change more seriously, but is ranked very poorly by environmental groups and supported the United States withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accords. He supported President Donald Trump's trade and tariff policies, despite having previously been a free trade advocate, and was a staunch ally of Trump throughout his presidency. Braun voted to acquit Trump in the impeachment trial related to the Trump-Ukraine scandal after Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election and Trump refused to concede, making false claims of fraud. Braun defended Trump's effort to overturn the election. Damn, who would have seen this coming? Who would have seen this guy, this lonely guy, say such bad things about interracial marriage? Couldn't be me. Could not have been me. I did not see this coming. You know, him opposing people having healthcare, gay people existing, abortion, and immigrants, and also being pro fascism, pro and anti-democracy, and like pro Trump and shit like that. Who would have seen this coming? Who would have seen this coming? But let's get into what he said. Now, let's watch this shit.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
What about Griswold versus Connecticut?
Well, you can list a whole host of issues. When it comes down to whatever they are, I'm going to say that they're not going to all make you happy within a given state, but that we're better off having states manifest their points of view rather than homogenizing it across the country as Roe versus Wade did.
Damn. Well, like he said, but before we get into like what specifically he said, let's read his walk back, because apparently he walked back. He tried to walk back the comments. There is no question the Constitution prohibits discrimination of any kind based on race. That is not something that is even up for debate, and I condemn racism in any form, he said, according to NBC News. And he also said he didn't understand the question, which is very weird because I feel like the question was pretty, like very understandable and wasn't like too complicated. Now, this is pretty much the pro-states' rights argument. Now, if you don't know, pro-states' rights and the states' rights argument first came about during the American Civil War. And you know who was used by? The South. And why did they use it? To have them protect slavery. Because they wanted slavery. The North, the big bad North, coming down, trying to take the good old white people slaves away from them. So they decided to say the phrase states' rights. Now, I hate states' rights. I think that's just a weasel excuse and something for you to not like weasel your way out of actually like saying something without saying something, and not face the consequences of your beliefs and your actions. And as we can see over here, the states' rights argument is fundamentally racist and anti-democracy and anti-freedom. So that's something I really, really hate about this. But then, if you don't know, it actually died down. The states' rights argument actually died down a bit. But then Barry Goldwater made it, this man over here, made it come back to popularity. Now, you don't know who Barry Goldwater is. He's a Republican back in the 60s who opposed the civil rights movement. So if you want some more evidence about the states' rights argument being like pro-racism, there you go. There's another one there as well. And yeah, he didn't like that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, so he used the states' rights arguments to try to get more votes to get that, not passed anymore. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why he did this, because he saw there was a lot of white people in the South, mainly in the South, that were angry that, desegregation happened. So he used the term states' rights to get their vote, because he knew that states' rights is a dog whistle. It just means that you don't like whatever that's coming up. It's just you don't like it. Because if you're if you're anti-segregation and anti-racist, you would never make this argument. Like, why? Why would you make this argument? There's something I don't understand, because when it comes to like marrying whoever you want to marry, that is a fundamental human right, and that's something I really like that the federal government passed, because I do not trust states, especially the South. That will be up to them to decide if interracial marriage would be okay to have in their states. I do not trust them at all. So I'm really happy that they did that. They passed that law, and I'm really, really glad about that. It's also actually like a hypocritical argument, because Republicans would do everything and anything in their power to try to get rid of this stuff. They don't like it. They don't like abortion. They don't like gay people. They don't like trans people, and they don't like brown people and black people as well. Because if it was up to them, they would actually ban this shit through the federal government, but they can't, because they lose. Conservatives are losers. Progressives always win. We always win with the culture war issues. So if it was up to them, they would ban it using the federal government, but they can't. So they go back to using the states' rights argument again. Yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to say. No, I got something else to add. Another reason why I hate this, and why, if you still don't believe me that this is a fundamentally racist thing to say, I give you this quote by Lee Atwater. If you don't know who Lee Atwater is, he was a political strategist for the Republican Party. Now, let me read this quote. This is censored because we're on Twitch, so I gotta censor it. You start out in 1954 by saying N-word, N-word, N-word. He didn't say with the A, he said it with the hard R, all right? By 1968, you can't say N-word. That hurts you, backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, which people don't really say anymore, states' rights and all that stuff, and you're getting so abstract. Now you're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. So again, this states' rights argument is bullshit. I hate it. Stop using it. They're not, because it works with them. It works for them, but you just gotta know, you gotta mind yourself. Whenever somebody uses the states' rights argument, they don't want it, and it is fundamentally racist and fundamentally a bad argument. So that's all I wanted to talk about here. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment down below. I very, very much appreciate it. And fuck states' rights.